Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Snap Decisions. I am your host with the most. I am your nighttime tonight, Snap DJ, and I have awesome guests here with me tonight. They are the Super Snap Brothers. We've got the kid down below in the square to the bottom. We've got No Big Deal on the right. What's going on, guys? Welcome to the show. I love these guys. I've been on their show already and had to have them over here. What's up with you guys, man? How's it going?
Man, Joe, thanks for having us here, man. We're excited to be here. It's gonna be a good time. Always love talking to you. You're awesome. Your show is awesome. I love how you're doing this new content with the videos and stuff.
Thank you.
Your last two episodes are great with Lauren Whatevs and Glazer. Just pumped to be here, man, and talk some snap. It's gonna be awesome.
Let's go. I appreciate that, man. What's
Yeah.
up with you? No big deal. How are you?
We're fired up, baby. We're fired up. Just took the Meek discard to Infinite. I feel good, and we got Proxima coming later. And it's a good time to be a snapper. Good meta, good vibes with Joe as always, and it's good to see you again, buddy.
Yeah, man. Great to see you guys too. Yeah, I'm fired up. It's been a pretty fun week in Snap, man. I mean, I was going to ask you that to start the show. So, how's it going for you guys? I know it's been a weird. Meta's been a little strange because and one thing I'm finding is that it's a little hard to get a handle sometimes. Like you kind of sometimes like when everybody's playing the same deck, it's like I know what's going to happen. I know who I'm facing, but now it's very up in the air. Everybody's trying a little something different. Like me, I was messing around with Alex Coach's the deck where he hides all the cards behind Invisible Woman and Supergiant, and I was having some fun with that. That's pretty cool. So, what have you guys been doing in Snap lately? I mean, I've been playing some Conquest. I've been doing a little bit of ladder and stuff, but yeah, what have you guys been doing? Kid, what have you been doing in Snap this week?
So I actually just hit Infinite this morning.
Nice, very nice.
I played a myriad of decks from like 73 to 93. I played, I don't know, probably about 4,000 decks, like everything, like trying Supergiant, all random stuff, Black Swan, Bounce, Dano, and literally a whole bunch of stuff. And then I stumbled upon a deck from Snap Variants, actually.
Okay.
Awesome on Twitter. Great follow. Always actually has the great.
Yeah.
If anytime you get a good split, tag Snap Variants, the best.
Yes.
And then they posted a deck. It was like a toxic kind of affliction, and it had Hazmat, high Evo and a bomb. And I'm like, I haven't played one of these decks in a while. Let me grind some high Evo. And then I started playing it, and it was just very smooth and very easily climbed, to Infinite. And it took me like 2 days, like yesterday and today and this morning.
That's
and
awesome.
It was good. So it was a lot of fun.
Luke Cage in it?
Luke Cage is not in it.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, right. Luke Cage is not in it.
Okay. All right.
I can pull up my Snap and open and tell you the list. No big deal. Why don't you go ahead first while I do that?
Yeah. What about you, man?
I got your list though. You sent it to me. It's your list is as I click the wrong thing.
Well, it's really fun. Yeah, like Hazmat get. Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, Sunspot, Misty Knight. This is Snap Variants, Toxic. Sunspot, Misty Knight. Then Hazmat, Scorpion, Rogue, Mobius, Cyclops, and then High Evo, and then Thing, Spider Woman, Abomination, and Hulk. So
yeah,
pure affliction.
I will say, yeah, like it felt really good. Hazmat is really nice when people put a lot of stuff on the board, even though it afflicts your stuff too. You do have some things that scale like Sunspot and Misty Knight, so it doesn't too much matter. But what's great is that it makes your Abomination basically cost 0. And it's a nice tech card against like Iron Man and stuff. Like I kind of felt like it was a tech card when I was playing with it. Like I wasn't using it all the time, just in certain circumstances. Then you get a free A-bomb on the last turn with like High Evo Hulk, and like people just aren't expecting that. The unsung hero, I will say, Mobius M. Mobius. Yeah. There's so much mana cheat going on.
Yeah,
I got so many free cubes. Just when I played them down, people would just leave. And then after that happened a few times, I just use it as a snap condition. I just snap before turn 3.
You see,
get the 2 cubes. Yeah, put them down. And
then sitting there, which is 60% of games.
Yeah, I just got like free 1 and 2 cubes so many times just because of Mobius. And then Rogue, I would say, did some work. I didn't use Rogue. Like Rogue didn't get as much value as I thought. But I definitely kept her in the deck and definitely, stole a few games off some Darkhawks and Ironmans and Tribunal players, that kind of stuff. I stole a Blue Marvel off a Zoo player one time and won that way. So Rogue's a great Rogue. I didn't use her. I got maybe 5 or 6 or 7 good uses out of her. but like they were like 4 to 8 cube uses, so she's good.
Yeah, that's a cool. They had I remember a deck similar to that. It was a couple months back. They called it High Evo Negative, but they didn't have Hazmat. Hazmat wasn't in it. But it was this kind of similar Scorpion thing, Spider Woman, like cards like that. But that's cool, man. That's awesome. And yeah, Mobius. Yeah, I think I had a deck. Oh, what was I playing? I might have been playing that Medusa Lock deck. I think I was playing, and I had Mobius in there. And as soon as same thing, similar situation. As soon as I played it, boom, gone. They just left. I'm like, well, but
yeah, he felt really good, and then you play him on 3, and then Cyclops on 4, and then Cyclops starts going off, right? And then it's just like it's off to the races. And I didn't feel like there were too many bad matchups. Like, kind of like we talked about the other day, no big deal. Like if I saw like a Hella deck, like I'll just start sweating. I see the Black Cat get discarded, and I'm like, damn it, here we go. Like you can't beat that. Like
yeah, I agree. There is so much Hella, Hella. Oh my god, I'm over Hella. I've seen it too much. I've seen. Yeah, I know that's your thing. That's just one of those decks, and it's funny because I hear you guys talk about that, and I hear you talk about Cerebro, and I was laughing today because I knew you were coming on the show, and I'm like, somebody came out with, I think it was Nina, put out a C5 deck, and I'm like, I'm gonna try this. I swear to God, the first 4 matches I played Conquest with it. First 4 matches I played, lost every single game, and I did not get Cerebral one damn time. Not once.
Join the club. Join the club.
Not once.
That's what the kid says when he plays.
Not once. And then Hella's the same thing. I'm like, all right, if you can't beat him, join him. So I end up making a Hella deck, and kind of went off of some of the other ones that were out there. It wasn't the Black Knight one, just the regular one. And I'm playing, and the same thing. I either get Hella in the opening hand, which is great, but then it gets discarded somehow, or I don't. I just never get what I need. I never get what I need to win that game. And then when I'm playing everybody else, you can count on it 100%. They're pulling off the Hella last turn, and they're going to beat me. And it's just like, yep. But yeah, I know that's your thing, man. I God bless, because it certainly doesn't work for me.
Look, Joe, I can't act like it don't be like that sometimes. It definitely do be like that sometimes, and that's the nature of the casino.
That's true.
You spin the wheel, and when the nice thing with Marvel Snap, the reason I like decks like that, and Hella and Cerebro, the reason you hear about it, if you listen to our pod, those are like my 2 favorite decks. So I can't help myself. I'm always playing them and always talking about them. I played a ton of C5 this season. The second they changed Omega Red, I was just on that C5 immediately. I was like, all right, let's go, wheels up, baby. But for Hella, it's just like in Marvel Snap, I think retreating is really good and really broken in Marvel Snap, just getting away with 1 cube. And so you just know, like if you hit your Hella early, it's like, all right, that's it. You give them 1 cube and you're out of there. Yep. But if you don't hit your Hella early, like Kid said, you get the Black Cat. Ooh, now we got the Sif on the death. Oh, all right. And then I play like a good Silver Samurai. Like I hit a blob in one of their, I see something I like on their side. It's like, all right, now we're snapping, right? So it's like, it's very, very clear on Hella. When you snap, when to retreat, it's like a joke. It's easy. Whereas if you're playing like Sarah, it's a little more ambiguous, right? Or you're playing some mid-range deck, like a Darkhawk deck. It's like, all right, is a 12 power Darkhawk going to be enough to win this game? Like, I don't actually know, So that's why I like decks like that. That's just how I like to play. Personally.
I think that's why I like playing Galactus so much, because like you were saying, it's a clear path. Yeah. You just know what you're doing. You know what you're doing when turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, and and you were talking about Omega Red. It's the first thing I thought of. First thing I'm like, ooh, that can sneak into a Galactus deck. You could put him down. You get the priority in that lane, and then you have the extra 3 or whatever it is on the other lane where you put him down. I'm like, and I actually made one. It works okay. It's kind of a ramp deck. But yeah, it's funny in this game because it's like what you get comfortable with. And I know you're a fan of discard. You were talking earlier about Ebony Maw and Proxima Midnight coming out. So it's really I think that's really what it is. It's what you get comfortable playing. And Kid, you're probably the same way. It just seems like everybody I talk to, that's what it is. You can go to different decks and try different things, but it always seems like you end up going back to the one that you like the most and you're most comfortable with.
Yeah. The more, I mean, for sure, the more you play a deck, the better you're gonna get at it. Eventually you master. You could be like Jet, high infinite, player. Jeeet is his name. He plays basically Phoenix Force and just put out this huge document on his Phoenix Force list that he takes and gets to like the finals of tournaments with, and like with like the best players. The guy's playing Phoenix Force, like,
Yeah.
but the guy plays it all the time. He loves the deck.
Yep.
He always says it's the best deck in the game. And, for him, it is. He's playing high infinite with it. So it's like there's something to be said for like, mastering, a type of deck, and just playing it all the time. You get really good at it. And it's just, that's it. You get comfortable, the lines, when what to play, how to play against different decks too. Like that's one of the main things that if you're starting a new deck, starting to play the deck is hard, but then knowing how to play against all the other decks, that's kind of tough to learn. You got to just put in the time and put in the work,
Yeah.
If you want to get really good at it. If not, just screw around and have fun, and who cares? Right?
Yeah, Jeet's list is crazy too. I mean, that guy, like, he innovated the Phoenix Force like archetype. Like, everyone was like, all right, either I get Phoenix Force or I Shuri Nimrod. And Jeet's like, no. I'm gonna play a Deadpool destroy deck, but with a little splash of Phoenix Force in there. And it's like, wow, like this is like the play lines with that deck. Like, I can only imagine. Like, you know what I mean? Like, are you popping your Deadpool? Are you trying to pop something else? When do you play your Phoenix Force? Like, I mean, I've seen the screenshots from like, it's like Lambie sending a screenshot. Like, I ran against Jeet again and lost 8 cubes. Look at this board, and there's just like giant multiple mans everywhere, and it's like this guy's the best Phoenix Force player of all time. And yeah, he got like 4th in Lambie's tournament. I think he got 300-man tournament there, and I think that guy got 4th place with a Phoenix Force deck. So.
Go look on Lambie's Discord. He put there's a PDF document. It's like a novel of exactly how to play the deck, snap lines, it's incredible. Almost like
doing that. I don't want to do that.
That's I'm like see.
Well,
for the people, if you want to learn Phoenix Force.
Man, he's the god. He's the god, man. I just let him do his thing,
Yeah. My point being that, like, you could take an obscure deck like Phoenix Force, and if you play it all the time and the lines, you got to be good as well. But it's just put in the reps and you get good.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's good for people to hear sometimes because I know myself when I first started. About maybe a couple months after I started playing Snap, I would watch a lot of the content creators, it's just fine. They're all good at what they do. But the thing is, I think a lot of the times people will watch them. They'll get their day one infinite and whatever they do, and then they move on to the high end of the ladder and stuff. And then they're just seeing them keep on playing this same deck, and then they automatically, I think, assume, oh, you know what, this guy's like Lambie. Lambie's playing Loki. I should play that. So I should just net deck that deck and I'm going to win with it. But that never works that way because Lambie's good at it. And that's what it really comes down to.
Extremely good at it, yeah.
Yeah. So
and he's literally played thousands of games with that one Loki bounce list.
Yes.
Like thousands, literally thousands.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, like you just can't even compete. I don't know if I've played thousands of games total in a year. Like,
I know I haven't. Yeah.
He's done it with that one deck over like a couple seasons,
Yeah.
They're grinding out there. It's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. So everybody that comes on my show, the first one of the things that I have to ask, and I'm going to ask you guys this too. So I'll start kind of somewhere with things like this, right? Whether it's with card games back in the day, or whether, some people get attracted to this just because they're a Marvel fan. So I'm going to ask both of you guys. I know I started back in the 90s playing Magic, and just, we would go to tournaments and stuff like that. And obviously, you're in person tournaments, but what got you guys into Snap? So whichever one of you guys want to go first, I want to hear your background story of what got you into card games and what got you playing Marvel Snap.
You go first, kid.
Yeah. All right. So card games at first, I guess. So okay. So we grew up together. We're brothers for people who don't know.
The Snap brother, right up there on the screen.
Bros, yeah. We're actually brothers in real life.
Yeah.
I'm 4 years older than him. So we grew up playing video games a lot. We would, started with me playing video games. My brother, he would watch me as a younger brother. And we, eventually grow up. We play together. Yep. And then, we played, I think we really got into like RTS kind of games, right? Like
Yeah, Command and Conquer.
Command and Conquer was
my
the first
big game for sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think I was 8 years old when I first started 7 or 8 when I started Command and Conquer.
Yeah.
And yeah, so the kid would have been like 12 at that time.
Vehicle reporting. Yeah, like
Yeah.
red alert.
And that was on like the family computer with 56K modem, you know, like dial up, try to hook up with the
CD.
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah.
And then so we started with that, and then like I think we got into like Blizzard games after that. So we got into StarCraft, Brood War.
Well, the kid was really good at Warcraft 3 too, especially Reign of Chaos, like the first expansion. The kid was like
Frozen Throne.
Oh, were you good at Frozen Throne?
Frozen Throne. I ended up getting like top 35 in North America on the ladder.
Wow, no kidding. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was gonna ask you if you played Warcraft, because I was I was a Warcraft junkie.
Oh yeah. That's like the best game of all time, I think.
Like Warcraft 3, not World of Warcraft, like the RTS one where you build the base and that kind of
strategy games. Yeah.
That back when I actually had APM and before my hands turned old and that kind of you can actually do that kind of stuff. So then and then that, to be good, you have to grind so much. And then, I kind of stopped after that. I got busy with school. And then, No Big Deal played, you can talk more about it later, but you played StarCraft 2 and he got real into that and real good at that. I transitioned to Hearthstone when Hearthstone first came out.
Okay.
I wouldn't say I played Magic, but when I was younger, I bought Magic cards and pretended to play with my friends and my mom and stuff like that. I'd make my mom play and just make up rules and beat her. But yeah, I still have like a book of Magic cards from like in the 90s. So so card games were always kind of fun. We collected Overpower, Pokemon cards, that kind of stuff. So we're kind of always into cards.
All right, I remember Overpower. Okay.
Yeah. Was never competitive with them or anything, just more for fun. Hearthstone is when I really started to really like card games and stuff, right? Card games, quote unquote. And then grinded Hearthstone for a while. And then, it just ended up being too much. Like I couldn't afford to play 30 or 40-minute games, Control Warrior, hand lock games. And, it just took too much time and I couldn't, it wasn't fun for me anymore playing so much. And I got busy with school and life and stuff. So I kind of stopped. And then sometime last year, like, I haven't really played video games for, that long other than randomly like Call of Duty or just random games online. But then No Big Deal just messaged me out of nowhere last year, like beginning of the year. He's like, "Hey man, there's this cool game I think you'll like." He's like, "It's like a card game." I'm like, "Bro, I don't have time for that shit. Like, I can't do that." Yeah. He's like, "No." He's like, "No. The games are like
3-minute games. They're 3. You got time. It's easy. This one's you play on the toilet. It's fucking easy, dude."
And he's like, and it's a mobile game, so you just play it whenever. I'm like, all right, I'll give it a shot. Then I played, got into it. Did the thing. Their onboarding experience, as is like incredible.
Yes, it was.
And then it just like I just fell in love. It was just such a good game. Like it's just so much fun, and it just you guys know how fun the game is. Yeah. And it's just easy to get into, and now I'm hooked. And then we played for a little bit. Then I'm like, yo, you want to start a podcast? Like, fuck it, we'll just like talk once a week and just screw around and whatever.
Originally we started the pod, it was just to kind of keep in touch because we weren't talking that much because he's across the continent and stuff. So it was kind of like a cool excuse just to talk like once a week, right? So it's pretty sick. Yeah, we just did our 39th ep, I think, right? So I don't think we missed one yet. So
that's awesome, man.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
over half a year just doing the pod every week.
So yeah, that's basically how I got into this game and stuff. I mean, I do like Marvel. I've liked Marvel my whole life more than DC. I don't mind some DC stuff, but Marvel, I've never been a huge fan. I had read some comics as a kid, but not into it. Not like you, Joe. You're the master.
Yeah, but, I am. I think that's just because I'm old and I just haven't met all that stuff. But yeah, I grew up with I was reading comics. Good Lord, probably. I wish I still had a lot of them. I was probably maybe 5 or 6 is probably the first time I can remember. I remember my I don't know if you guys, you might not be as old enough to remember, but I remember going trick-or-treating in one of those really bad Ben Cooper plastic costumes that you'd put on over your clothes, and they had the stupidest looking Spider-Man mask ever. It was the ugliest looking thing, and all I remember about it is you're coming home, you're sweaty, and that plastic thing just stunk. When you got back to the house, it's like, oh my God, this is horrendous. But they were the costume in a box things from years ago. But Yeah, I was always the comics and stuff like that were always a thing. And I can remember my grandmother buying them for you go in a grocery store back in the day and they'd have these little spinning racks. And the racks would have all these little holders on them, and they made that creaking noise, and you'd spin it, going around. And the comics were all there, and they would usually get whenever I'd go to the grocery store or something like that, they'd grab me a comic book for like 10 cents or a quarter back then was what they were. But yeah, I just and I still do. I still read them to this day. I wish I had a comic book store near me, but I don't have one anymore. My best man in my wedding actually owned one. And so that was just way too easy. But he's just like, yeah, I'll throw these books aside for you. No problem. I'd go and I'd have a stack of like 100 books every couple of weeks. I'd go in the store.
Yeah.
And that was, I think it was around the time when they had the whole Death of Superman thing, because I stopped reading them for a while.
I have those ones.
Yeah, and they're worth.
I have the Death and the Return of Superman. I have both of those at home.
Yeah, I think everybody 90s books were printed so much. When that book first came out, I remember I was looking up and down for you could not get one. They were selling them for a couple $100 for a copy, and now you can get them for a quarter. It's like they're worth nothing. But yeah, I think that's when I got back in. But it's weird, like. Yeah, no, that's awesome, man. I love hearing about that, and the fact that the two of you guys, you grew up playing all this. How about Diablo? I know you played the Blizzard games. You ever played Diablo? No,
I never did. No, I played Heroes of the Storm. We actually got into Heroes of the Storm. Yeah, we played Dota a lot. Actually, we went to the one Dota tournament. Remember at the university? That was
hilarious. Easy.
Oh, nice.
No, we didn't.
I must have won with a different squad.
That was me.
I won a couple of those Dota tournaments. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Heroes of the Storm. We played Heroes of the Storm a lot too.
Yeah, Heroes was good for like a year. We played that. Yeah,
we played original Dota on what was it? It was on Warcraft, right?
Warcraft, yeah. Frozen Throne was All Stars. Yeah, original. Yeah.
No big deal. How did you get into Snap? I actually I've never even asked you this. I don't think.
Okay, well, I mean, I'm more of a gamer, I would say, than a card gamer. I mean, I guess I'll go through the whole thing, but yeah, we Command and Conquer around, like I said, around 8 or 9, and then we started playing Warcraft after that, we played Brood War first. The Brood War was sick. I remember that's when I feel like I was really into video games, when StarCraft 1 Brood War came out. Like, that game was just unbelievable. I mean, I was like in the map editor, like making maps and shit. Like, I just love the way it lets you express your creativity too. You can kind of do whatever you want. And I was always into that. That's why I like deck brewing and stuff in Marvel Snap. I like the creative side of it personally. But yeah, so I was really into Brood War, and then when I don't know, I guess for card games, I was like 14, 15. I played a lot of poker with my buddies. And I was really into poker. And I started, I never read books in my life. Even in school, I would just do like like the Coles notes online, or where they like summarize the book.
The Cliff Notes?
There was a site that everybody used back in the day. I forget what it was called. It's like not Jeeves or something, but anyway, like I think it was Spark Notes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you just read. I didn't read the books for book reports, but I started reading poker books. It's the only books, even to this day, I've ever even read in my life, or just poker books when I was like 16, 17. And then in Canada, when you turn 19, you could legally go to casino. So I was like second year uni, and I was like grinding poker at the casino for like a couple of years there. I would go 3-4 times a week, and I had a lot of fun doing that. I made a few thousand, but nothing like crazy. I was playing like lower stakes. And then I realized like the most money you can make is like on the weekends, like Friday night, Saturday night, like Thursday night, when people are drunk and they just punt their money off and give you their money. And you got to go there sober, like, and just focused and just ready. And I'm like, I was like in university, I'm like, I want like a social life. I don't want to do this. So I kind of stopped playing poker after a couple of years. And I got really into StarCraft 2. And I like played that like a lot. Like I got really into it. I was like Grandmaster, all this stuff. And I never like, was like a pro or anything like that. But I won some money playing StarCraft 2 as well. And then later on, I guess like from StarCraft 2, it was more just like Dota 2. And then I didn't really game too much after that. Just a few games here and there. And then, Marvel Snap was just like, I don't know whose original video I saw that got me into it, to be honest. It just, I got it December of 2022. I forget where I first heard it. It was my buddy Kevin, Stanky King. So he's been on our pod a couple of times. Yeah, he told me about it. Oh, it was Marvel, whatever. I'm like, dude, like, they're making the Avengers like 37. Like, you know, I like the first like 8 or 9, you know, and I can't watch like part 37. Like I'm done with Marvel. Like I don't want to like do this anymore, you know, like you know, 3 is enough. Like Lord of the Rings was like a trilogy. Like I don't want to go watch The Hobbit now, you know, like just the Lord of the Rings 1, 2, 3. I'm like good. Like it was sick. Like that it was sacred. Like it's a beautiful trilogy, you know. Like we don't need Marvel 30. So then Stank King's like, no, you're gonna love this game. You gotta try it. I played a little bit of Hearthstone too in the past, but not as much as a kid. And yeah, so I downloaded Snap like December 2022, and yeah, I was instantly hooked and just grinding from there.
That's awesome, man. I love it. I got burned by a Marvel game right around the time when Black Panther came out. I think in the MCU, they had a game out called Marvel Battle Lines, and I started playing it just for the fact that it was out when the movies are out, and I'm like, oh, this kind of looks cool. And it was a card game, so you had they had all different versions of all the MCU characters, and the card art looked a lot more like the MCU characters. So they had the art like not so much from the comic book stuff. But you had a board. It almost looked like a tic-tac-toe board, and you had to place the characters down on the board, and it was almost like an RTS a little bit. It was almost like real turn strategy. They would attack like other things on the board. So if you had a shield agent, and then you had like Thanos on the other side, he'd massacre the shield agent in front of anybody. But they were like fodder. And the game was actually kind of cool, and I spent way too much money on it. And I remember like getting to the point where the one thing was people complain about this game being a money grab. I'll tell you what, that game was so bad. I mean, they didn't even hide it. You couldn't win that game unless you spent money. That's how it went. Like you just couldn't win games. If you didn't have the good characters on the board, you couldn't win. Well, I remember playing it, and they got past the Black Panther, and they were talking about, oh, we got a new Black Panther season coming out. About a week later, they're like, yeah, the game's done. I'm like, oh my god.
After all that pay to win.
After all that stuff, I'm like, are you kidding me, dude? Like it was so. Then when I saw this, I'm like, all right, I'm in. I was hooked by the same thing you guys were. It's like I just know I can't sit and play games for hours. I tried playing Magic again for a little bit online, but it's like, oh god, forget it. You enter a tournament in that or something like a sealed tournament, and you're there for hours and hours playing. It's like, yeah, there's no way. I just don't have time to do it anymore. But that's awesome, man. I love hearing that stuff.
Oh yeah, I played Yu-Gi-Oh for a bit too, and just to your point, it's the same thing where, especially Yu-Gi-Oh now. Even not even games take long, but like the first turn of the game could take like 15 minutes for your opponent to do their turn. And it's like 10, 15 minutes. Like it's absolutely absurd.
Yeah,
so
that's
it's like, I play like 3-4 Marvel Snap games full 6 turns in the same amount of time, unless someone's an asshole and they're playing Kang. But gonna take a shot at it. Worst turn in Marvel Snap, but yeah. But yeah,
that's awesome.
I agree with that point. It's just nice to be able to just play a game.
Yeah. It was a smart thing for them to do, to kind of target people who just don't have all that time, because it's not realistic for everybody. Especially you're out there, you're working every day, and it's good for people who can play it casually, and that's why like you guys talk about being filthy casuals. I love that, because it's like that's me. I don't get the time to sit and play. And, I've had people, since I've started doing this, I've had people will DM me, they'll message me, and they'll be like, in fact, I put a post out about it on X the other day, but they were talking to me about that. They're like, well, why, I can't hit infinite. I don't know what I'm doing and stuff like that. And they'll ask me, and I'm like, listen, you're asking, number one, I've never hit it, so I'm not probably the guy to ask. But number two, I'm like, listen, the whole thing is you've got to have some time. You can't just do that and not have the time to do it. So if you're, and that's what I'll say. I'll say, listen, how often do you play? And then they'll say, well, a couple minutes here, a couple minutes there, maybe an hour or so. And I'm like, well, you got to set your goals lower, because you're definitely not, it's probably not going to happen, because you just don't have the time to play.
Mhm.
And I think, people I think have a hard time seeing that sometimes. And I like the fact that there are shows. This is what attracted me to your show, because it's almost like you're men of the people, and I kind of dig that. It's like there's, you could, like I said, the other creators are awesome. They're fantastic at what they do, but sometimes it's just hard to relate, because people, I don't think, realize, when they do that race to infinite, there's number one, they're starting at 70, they're starting level 70, right, every month.
Yeah.
And then they'll sit and they'll do their streams. So, like Dara, for instance, he'll play for 4 or 5 hours straight. And he gets to infinite, he's good, and he gets to infinite, but that's still, you're taking 4 or 5 hours in a row playing games. And I think a lot of times people they see that and they're like, oh man, he just gets it all the time, and I don't understand what I'm doing wrong. But a lot of times I think people just really need to realize it's time. It's not, it's not just necessarily being good, but it's also having the time to do it.
Yeah, and to your point too, like with Dara as well, or with anyone, right? Dara will go for like 9, 10, sometimes 15 hours in a row.
Yeah.
He goes, and he normally does like the same deck. So like what we were talking about before, like he's playing the same deck for like 9 hours in a row straight on stream. So he's very good. First of all, he's very good. He hit rank 1 in the world.
Oh, absolutely,
recently.
he is. Yeah,
so he's an incredible player.
Yep.
But also he's, using the exact same deck. He knows exactly all the matches and everything.
Yep.
And he's grinding it for 9 hours in a row, the same deck, which he's probably played for thousands of hours before too, similar decks. So it's like, yeah, you have the time and you have the skill, and you've put in the time to know everything in the past too. So it's a lot easier. And yeah, once you've hit infinite before, like I'll say, like, like we hit infinite too, like it is so much easier when you start at 73, right?
Oh,
and it's easier when you recognize bots and you know how to exploit the bots too.
Yep.
It's like free 8 cubes. Like you could like lose all your games against humans and just like exploit the bots for 8 cubes if you really want. Like you could do that. It's not fun, but like, the point of the game is to have fun, right? So just play stuff to have fun, and that's it. That's kind of what we're about. Like I don't really care if I have infinite. I like hitting rank 90 because I get free 500 gold.
You get the 500. Yeah.
Once I hit 90, I'm like, all right, I'm cool.
Yeah.
And then like you said before, like the time, like that's why I don't really personally I don't play Conquest that much, because like I just don't have the time to play it.
Yep. Yeah, it does take a long time. I mean, I like the thing with that format is, what I like about it is it's not so much to chance. You'll get, first of all, you get to know what they're playing. Secondly, if you get screwed in a game, you don't lose. You know what I mean? If there's something out there that you're getting screwed with, whether it's a location, whatever, you can still stay in and just play it out. But that they do take a while. I mean, if you go all the way through and the person doesn't retreat and you go all the way to the end, it's could be there for an hour, if not more sometimes.
Yeah.
But
it is cool to like for me too. Also, like I'm kind of like ADD with like the way I play. Like I'll like play a different deck every game. I'll play like 5 games with 5 different decks and keep switching, because like I like that. Sometimes I find a deck where I'm like, all right, I'm having a great time, I'll go. But most of the time I'm just like, here, let's try this deck. Let's try this deck. Let's try this deck. And in Conquest, I can't do that. I'm locked in, especially if I'm grinding. It's like I'll be a proving ground snap hero, but and then I'll play Hella, on the last day of Conquest, trying to grind out the borders, just snapping every game.
Trying to go for the end of it, yeah.
I literally snap every game, like I just snap, People probably get pissed off, but whatever.
Oh man, I love it.
Yeah.
That's awesome though. I love hearing the background, because I know most people just don't pick up a game just out of nowhere. I guess some people probably do, but if you're not some sort of a gamer one way or the other, or you're not a comic book fan, it's kind of hard to just grab that and just say, oh my God, I'm just going to play this right off the bat when you never played anything before. So that's awesome. I love that. All right. So we're going to talk about, we've got, of course, we had the first 2 cards come out. So what did you guys think about Black Swan and about Supergiant? Personally, I had a little more fun with Supergiant than I did Black Swan. So yeah, I want to get your thoughts on the first 2 cards of the month. Let me know what you think about them. So no big deal. Let's start us out.
I'll start. Yeah, I'll start on this one, kid, because I don't know if you know, Joe, but I'm skipping Supergiant. Nothing against her. I just I really want the discard. I'm a discard lover. I want the discard stuff at the end of the month. And I feel like Cull Obsidian is going to be extremely broken. And so I just want to get the next 3 cards in the month. And I don't care that much about Supergiant. Like, she seems pretty cool. and interesting. But I just I'm saving my resources. I'm a season pass bro. I get my season pass. I buy the occasional bundle every 2-3 months, and that's kind of how I like to play. So for me, Supergiant's a skip. But she seems interesting. I've lost her a couple times, I'll tell you that. But but seems like you could play around it if you have prio against a Supergiant player. Like I feel really good, and if I don't have prio, I'm probably leaving. So that's kind of how I feel about the card. And then Black Swan, I think, is pretty interesting, but I find a little bit awkward. But I think really good in bounce. I think awkward in Thanos is my first impression.
Okay.
It makes sense in Thanos. Like, you get 0 stones to play into the lockjaw. Like, it all makes sense, but, popping out of the lockjaw is, like, kind of okay. And I think you just want to cheat out big guys in Thanos. I think maybe my first impression is the default Thanos is a bit better than Black Swan. But I could be wrong on that. I'm not a Thanos expert, but I've played around with it. And that was my impression. But she feels good in Zoo. She feels good in Bounce. And pretty interesting card, but doesn't feel like super busted either. So that's my kind of impressions of it.
Nice. So it's kind of following up it almost seems like the last couple months now, the season pass card hasn't been like broken. We had so many season pass cards for the last few that were just absolutely busted. And it seems like it's like it's not really that way. So Kid, what'd you play? Any Black Swan or Supergiant?
Yeah, I got both. I mean, that Supergiant variant, the Spotlight variant, I was mad when I saw it because I knew my wallet was taking a hit.
Yeah, I hear you. Mine did
Such
too.
a nice variant. And I even looked at all the variants.
Yeah,
I looked at all the variants coming up to him. Like, okay, is there anything more that I'm going to want that that's going to be like a Spotlight variant of a card I don't have? Because like the Thanos, I already have Thanos, so I can just use some keys and get that, and just roll. Yeah. But like this one, like I bought Supergiant and then, got rolled for the variant. So I don't think I've ever done that before, but the variant was cool. I'll get that out of the way.
Yeah. Did you split it? Did you see like all the whole Black Orders like standing behind her in the shadows in that card?
Oh, are they? Is that her?
Oh yeah. Like Ebony Maw's there, Cull. You could see them all behind her.
Oh no, I didn't know. I have it.
Split it. I don't think.
Yeah. Oh no, wait, no. I'm wrong. I'm an old man moment. That was Black Swan's variant. Never mind.
Oh.
That was Black Swan's variant. Yeah.
I don't have that one yet. That's gonna be at the 50 of the season pass track, right?
Yeah.
Level 50.
The Black Swan variant has all
that one's sweet. I think they're both in Hyuk. I don't know how to say that, but
Yep. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah,
but anyways. Supergiant is a cool card. I'll talk about Supergiant. It's a cool card. I don't think it's busted by any means. It seems like a really cool 4-drop tech card kind of thing. Like get priority and then punish people with Eliath. That seems to be the one thing that people are using it most for right now. Yeah. I played more with Black Swan than I have with Supergiant. I played a little bit of Supergiant. I want to play a lot more now. But it seems like a fun tech card. Like if things get out of hand, like if there's too much Seraph, there's too much Leech, is there anything like that? You can just throw this card in your deck and kind of like now there's Zabu everywhere. Just throw Mobius in your deck. You're winning. It's just gonna win you games. Yeah, so this seems like a cool card. Just a cool tech card for 4 costs, which is interesting.
Yep.
So I enjoy it. I don't think it's overpowered, but it's kind of a cool card. But I think it's fine if you skip it too. Personally, I don't think it's like a must-have. Like you don't need this card to be good or anything like that. It's like it's a skippable card, but it's a very, very cool, unique effect. Black Swan, I'm more hyped, I think, about Black Swan than most people are. I see a lot of the sentiment on like X and stuff like that. People seem to be down on the card a little bit more than I am. I've had a lot of fun with this card and a lot of success. Like cards, I play a little bit of Bounce now, and Black Swan feels great in Bounce. I kind of a little bit disagree with No Big Deal. I love the card in Thanos. It feels good. I mean, I guess the question is, is like the standard Thanos list better? Maybe you're right. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I'm just that's my pure speculation from playing a bit of both. I played, especially at the start of the season, I played a bunch of things.
Yeah, that's to be determined, I guess. But like, it's fun to play Black Swan on like 3-5, pretty good stats. Playing Thanos, and then especially if you have Lockjaw on the board, it's great. You could play like a 5-drop. If you have Lockjaw on 3, Black Swan on 4, then you could play like a 5-drop and stones into the the Lockjaw for free. So you can play like a Devil Dino and stuff like
Oh
that.
yeah, you're snapping. You're
Vision.
snapping if you got that line for sure. That's a snap
Yeah.
ball. Yeah.
So I mean, like it's a cool card. It's really cool, you know. So I don't know. I like it a lot in Thanos, and then you can have these wild combos like with Hitmonkey and stuff like that. You know, I don't know. Does it make the decks better? I guess that's the question. Is it making these decks better than they would have been anyway?
Yep.
I don't know, but it sure is a fun card. So I'll take that for $10.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
doesn't matter. Like I don't care how good it is. I'm having a great time with it. So
yeah, that was my thought with not buying Supergiant. I was looking at all the decks. I'm like, they don't look that fun to me. Like she's not adding that much fun. Like I just playing this card into an Alliance, like I feel like it'd be fun the first like 5-10 times, and then I would get bored of it. So that's the main reason I'm scared. It's more just the fun factor. I mean, she could be really good, but trying to play the game for fun, and yeah.
Oh, and a really fun deck actually that I made is like I think these are probably posted too, but when I put together, it's probably pretty standard. Just like a Black Swan move list. You have 4 1-drops, and it's like it's hilarious. The combos and stuff just pop off. Yeah. Like you got like Forge, Ghost Spider, Human Torch, Iron Fist, Dagger, Beast, Craven, Strange, Falcon, Vulture, Chimera, Black Swan, Insanity.
Oh wow.
You beast them back, you Falcon stuff back. And then they're free. With move cards, it's crazy because you just combo and you pop off. So
you do Beast and Falcon both?
Oh yeah.
That's wild.
Oh yeah.
That's so much move.
Oh yeah, it's insanity because the cards become free.
Yeah, that's fire. I know, I love that. That's spicy.
It's so fun, and I want to find a way to get Hercules in there with Black Swan because like if you're getting free like Human Torches, Iron Fist, and Ghost Spiders and stuff, Hercules might be okay. Like that's obviously not going to be a top tier deck, but it might be surprising. So that'll be one of the things I'll try to do. See if making Hercules work in one of these decks.
It's funny you mentioned that because I've seen more when I was playing yesterday, and even some of the games I was playing at Conquest, I was seeing more move, and I'm wondering like, what the hell are they playing move for? Now I saw most of the cards you mentioned. I never saw them play Black Swan though, but maybe that's what they're doing. That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. The move, I think just because the meta is in a nice place right now, where like there's a lot of good decks that move can afford to be played and not lose 90% of the time.
Yeah.
Like when we had what was the last? It was like Thanos.
The blob.
Yeah. Thanos blob, that kind of stuff. You cannot play move against it. You're losing every single game.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So, like now, like the meta is in a place where like move. If you're decent at move, you'll be winning games, and it's nice.
Yeah.
So I think it's.
I was talking before the show. I was playing this. Alex Kocha made this. It's called the Invisible Giants. 0 Titania, Ebony Maw, Armor, Invisible Woman, Lizard, Maximus Gladiator, Supergiant, Atuma, Spider Woman, and Magneto. And it's basically your hiding cards. You're putting Invisible Woman down. And I didn't even know that this worked. If you hide Atuma, he doesn't blow up at the end of the game.
Yeah.
I had no idea because that's the end of turn stuff that comes into play there, and he doesn't explode. So it's a fun deck to play because people just can't figure it out. And unless they're playing an Enchantress or something in their deck, which not many people are now, and they can't uncover that Invisible Woman stuff, you're putting all these big cards. You're saving Maximus with 2/6. You're saving a Gladiator to the end of the game. You have all these big cards stuck behind, and then you have a Magneto in the deck at the very end too that you can mess around with the whole board. So it's a pretty good deck. I was kind of surprised. I was watching their video earlier, him and Cozy, and he was talking about it. And his deck is like right up there as one of the best decks, I think, so far, win rate wise. But it just seemed fun. And I'm like, yeah, let me just try it. And like you had mentioned earlier, kid, like a lot of this game is really about what you have fun with. And if you enjoyed it, and it was just a fun deck for me to play because I was like, yeah, this is kind of cool. They can't see what the hell I'm doing. And I'm just going to throw all this power down. They have no idea where to play at this point. So yeah, I had fun with it. I thought it was cool.
Yeah, it's great. It's great that you can play all these wild decks right now. And it's just like, it's a good time.
Yeah.
What were you going to say? No big deal. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say Titania is another one, Joe. I don't know if you know about that one. If you throw a Titania, it doesn't jump at the end.
Yes, because she was in there too. And I'm always sitting there kind of like wondering, like, I don't want to play this. She's just going to go over to the other side because you're used to doing that. But then, I had no idea. Like that end game stuff like negated what they do. I didn't know that.
That's a pray they don't have a Goliath deck.
Yes, it is. If you see an Goliath deck in that, you're done. You just go like you take the highway out of there. All right, next up, we have this guy coming out this week. Cull Obsidian releases tomorrow. Another big boy to go with what we had from last month and all the big boy stuff we got in that month. So this is just another edition. And now that they were, everybody kind of knows now the clarifications where you can play a 1 card and him at the same time in a lane. This is just going to be another big piece for, I don't know, where do you guys think he fits in? I mean, a lot of people, some people were saying, I think I heard Lambie say high Evo because they have a lot of ones the way it is because they've got the Nebula and they've got the Sunspot and they've got the Misty Knight already in there. So he's just an easier big body to stick in that deck. But what are you thinking of Cull? I mean, I know some people were kind of excited about it. Some were like, it's just enough. I mean, he's great for a stat line. A 410 is nothing to laugh at. That's a pretty great stat line. But yeah, I mean, what do you guys think about Cull Obsidian?
You want to go ahead? Yeah, go ahead, because I saw you smiling. Because I know you sent me your deck list the other day.
Oh yeah, that was today.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna try him in high Evo. I think that's a great call by Lambie there. Try him in high Evo. No, I think this card is kind of cracked. We talked about this on our pod, but I don't like this card. I don't want to be like negative. Like I said, almost all the cards they release in this game are like beautiful design, like really cool, unique effects, archetype defining. Like look at Black Swan, like it's just a sick effect. Like whether it's good or not, who cares? Like it's just a cool effect. Corvus, like it ramps discards too. Like this is sick. Proxima Midnight, we got this like 7 power Captain Marvel flies out of your hand. Like Elsa, Loki's crazy. Like these are awesome, beautiful card design. And you got freaking Cull Obsidian, man. Look, like it is a 410. Like and it would be one thing if the game needed a 410, but we have Jessica Jones conditional 410. We have Rescue conditional Jessica Jones conditional 4-9. Rescue conditional 4-9. Cull Obsidian conditional 410. Darkhawk conditional 412. Literally 3 of this exact card exists in the game already. It just Crossbones conditional 4-8. I want to throw him in there. I have 4 in my collection already, and now this guy's a Series 5, and I have to get him because he's power creep because he's a 410. And I just I don't love it. But I think he's gonna be really, really, really good.
Yeah. He was kind of a chump in the MCU, man. He died like really quickly in that movie when he was. I
guess it's on brand with the lore. Then they're like, all right, let's give him the least original, least interesting effect because he's a chump in the MCU. So I guess they did him the way he was supposed to be done, right?
That's why they got rid of his ongoing ability. Cannot be destroyed. Like, never mind, he's weak. No, I think I agree with No Big Deal. He's a boring card, I think, but I think he's gonna be good. And I've seen people on Twitter and stuff saying like, oh, but he gets hit by Shang-Chi, like he's gonna be crap, he's gonna be shit. It's like, what are you talking about? It's a 410. Of course it's gonna be good. If Shang hits only this, I'm happy.
Yeah,
because then I can play, if let's say you play like, how about this curve? Zabu into him, who's a 310 now, better than Gladiator.
Yeah.
Then you could play Scar on 4. And then nothing Zabu or nothing Shang-Chi can do there. Also, there's cards like Armor and Cosmo that exist.
Yep.
Just a big statted guy who's going to be, this is a good card. And where does he fit in? I think anywhere, really.
Yep.
You put him in Thanos, anything that plays like 2 or more 1-drops, I think.
Thanos for sure with all the stones in there. Yeah, no doubt. I heard Lambie say earlier in a podcast he was talking about too, saying about how you can't Shang everything. You have one shot with a Shang-Chi and you can't spread it out everywhere. So you might kill him, but then you're gonna have to deal with Hulk. You're gonna have to deal with She-Hulk if it's in that deck. So you can't kill everything with it. You just don't stack them. But yeah, I would agree with you guys. I mean, it is kind of a vanilla card. It's not like super exciting. It's almost as if like this card, and I know he's part of the Black Order, so obviously he fits, but this card almost would have been suited more for last month because of all those big body cards that they were throwing out at you.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I agree. Probably not the most flashy card of all the cards that are left in the month for sure.
Yeah,
so,
I don't even mind that he's like a big body and he's like a conditional big body. Like I'm fine with that. I just wish he was like a 3 or a 5 cost or something,
Yeah.
But the fact that he's a 410, like I mean, come on. How many 410s we got in Marvel Snap now? Like, this is just
Typhoid Marys.
And like,
Typhoid-
Zabu's a 60% play rate. Like,
Yeah.
oh, what are people gonna do? It's like, here we go. I don't know, man. I don't like that. Maybe I'm just a little negative Nancy. Like, I'll probably have fun slamming him down when he comes out tomorrow. Don't get me wrong.
Well, it's funny you said like it's like which deck do you put him in? Okay, any deck with Zabu, he's a good fit. Okay, so there's 60% of the decks.
That's yeah.
Any Thanos deck he's gonna be good in, right? And high Evo. So like 80% of the meta he's good at. Like just throw him in any deck, he's probably good. Like I'm not gonna put him in a move list,
Yep.
Well, I was even saying like your move list has 4-1 drops, kid.
Yeah, but I don't want him. I need to move stuff around. I can't just have a big idiot in there.
Sure,
but I was even saying, like, do you put him in bounce? Like, get rid of Iron Man, put him instead of like an Iron Man. You have all these 1-drops.
That's true.
I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah.
Bounce plays Sentry and Nihilist Hood, like
These are those ones, yeah.
Yeah, like those are similar. Sentry's like a similar idea to this, right? So
he'd probably fit in there. Well, I mean, you have the Hood that would be played all the time in those decks. Yeah, he'd probably fit in there too. Good points you brought up. The Zabu thing. Do you think Zabu's due for a nerf? It isn't, like you just said. It's in so many decks, and I know they messed around with that card already, but. Do you think at this point it might be a card that they might end up putting on their radar to nerf again or mess around a little bit again because it's so played in so many decks now?
Yeah. I think I think he is going to get nerfed. Yeah. Is he ruining the meta right now? No, I don't think so. But that's just because we have a healthy meta. But if you're going to nerf cards, you're going to do OTAs. We can't just only buff cards, right? Because then cards like Crossbones and Punisher and all these like cards, they get left behind, right? And so whatever, like the last OTA, they only touched 3 cards, and one was kind of a side grade, right? So it's not, there's too many cards in the game. You have to nerf the best cards in the game, and why not touch up the cards that are at a 60% play rate? I mean, can't hurt, right? Even if it's not warranted, right? Why not?
Yeah. Yep. Kid, what do you think?
Yeah, it's so hard. Like it's so hard because I'm having so much fun in the meta right now. I don't want anything to be changed.
Yep.
I do like Zabu. I know Big Deal's right. I mean, 60% is probably too much. It's too much for everything to be a Zabu deck. I think they should probably just rework him, change him maybe. Left and 4-drops are just getting so OP now.
Yeah.
That it's just like they're so good that they don't need to be 3. You don't need to play 2 of them on the last turn.
Yeah.
It's getting kind of ridiculous that way. Especially Shang-Chi, like he doesn't need to be a 3 cost.
Yes.
So I don't know. What do you do with Zabu? One idea I threw out was like maybe make him a 2/4 and say the next 4-drop you play costs 1 less. I was thinking about this today and I was like, what would he be bad or would he be like? What if 5-drops costed 1 less? Can't play 2 5-drops on turn 6.
You're opening up Pandora's box there.
Is that so? Right? Like, is that like is a 4-cost 5-drop like that broken? Maybe it is, but you can't play.
Honestly, it's probably fine.
Like the reason why it's so good with 4-drops. There's so much 4 tech cards, right? You can play like Darkhawk Shang-Chi on the last turn. It's like that's so fucking OP. It's ridiculous.
Yep.
So like if you have like a 4-cost like Devil Dino, Spider Woman, like Legion. Arrow, then that's like a 4/9. Arrow is a 4/9. This is a 4/10 for Christ's sake. Is it that bad for I don't know. That may be a cool change. Mix things up, but I don't know. Who knows?
I heard you talking on your show, and was it you that suggested making Shang a 5? I think that's a good idea, actually.
Yeah, I said that.
Yeah. I
said I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't mind if he was a 5. Like especially. I just don't want him to get hit by Zabu. I just don't want him to be a 3.
Yep.
If he was a 4 and stayed a 4 and could always be a 4, then he's probably all right.
Yep.
But the fact that you can make him a 3 and play him with another 4-drop as a 3 on turn 6 is kind of ridiculous. Yeah. But I think as a 5, he would be fine. Make him a 5/6 or something like that. And
I think that's a great change. I mean, Shang's the other like 50-60% play. It's really Zabu and Shang meta right now. So those are the 2 big ones. And
it is.
I think if you hit Shang, it actually starts to solve the Zabu problem a little bit anyway. Like it's a big hit to Zabu if you put Shang to 5, right? So it's like indirect nerf there. And I think you could just take some power off of Zabu to start things off. You know, like we saw with like Luke Cage was like totally unplayable at a 2-1. I know it's a way worse effect, but like Ravona at 2-3 like feels more playable when she has targets. But like say Zabu's like a 2-0, right? Like it's tough playing a 2-0. Like you might just lose the game. You know, if you play a Zabu, they play like a Silk or something, like you're way behind now on board, and like you can't play like a Supergiant deck now, you know, because you're never getting Prio with your 4-5 and you're 2-0. Like it's just not gonna happen. So you know, it's I think you could take power off of these kind of ongoing cards. I mean, you know, like Mobius, I think is well balanced because he's a 3-3. You know, like he's good, but you do have to give something up when you play a 3-3. When you play a Cosmo, when you play a Mobius, like you're really giving something up. So if you play like a 2-0 Zabu, I think that would be fine. And if you move Shang to a 5, like I think you kind of start to solve the problem. It's really just Darkhawk that's left at that point. And you know, you definitely spice up the meta if you hit those 3 cards for sure.
Yeah, I think not so much the problem with Zabu specifically. I mean, I guess Zabu, yes, but also the problem is they're printing cards like this constantly, you know.
Yep.
And it's like if these are all 4 drops, they're gonna be like this, you know, from now on. It's like, well, then Zabu just gets better and better and better, and it's like, you know, okay, you're getting more and more value, and 4 drops are so much better than 3 drops. That's like, you know, it gets like you can't compete if you're playing a 3 drop, you know, and then they're playing a Zabu, you know, a 3/10. Like, so yeah, I don't know, but Shang as a 5, I think is cool because
I think that would work.
I think you need Shang in the game. I really like.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
a proponent of he needs to be in the game 100%. You need a card like that.
Yeah,
he just doesn't need to be a 3 cost 60% of the time.
Yeah. The 2-0 man brings me up to my boy Adam Warlock, who never gets played. Woo! There you go. Let's do it. Let's do that. That's awesome. All right, so we had some data mine cards. I know you guys went over this in your show as well.
No, let's go over them. They're fun.
Let's go. So we're gonna look at some of these data mine cards. We are going to start with this is Red Guardian, who is a 3/4, removes the text of the lowest power enemy card here. So Red Guardian obviously is we saw if you watch the MCU series, oh my gosh, was it Bucky and the Winter Soldier and Falcon and Winter Soldier? He was actually in that film, I believe. Or no, wait, Red Guardian, my bad. He was in Black Widow. Mm-hmm. He was in the Black Widow movie.
You're thinking U.S. Agent.
U.S. Agent. I'm thinking of U.S. Agent. Yes, I know. I'm future proofing because I know he's coming up. Yes, Red Guardian is from Black Widow. So, what do you guys think of this one? Remove the text of the lowest power enemy card here. Interesting.
I think it's a cool card. I like it. I don't know how good it's gonna be. I think it'll be a very situational tech card, especially like we were saying. 3s are like. It's tough to play a 3. You know, it needs to really have a good impact at a 3 drop, especially if you're like a 3/4.
Yep.
You know, you hope they're not playing Patriot when you hit them.
Yes.
But you know, if the lowest power enemy card here, you know, you think
Iron Man. You can hit the Patriot.
That's true. You can hit Patriot. It nullifies their Patriot. You can hit Blue Marvel. You can hit Dracula.
Mystique, right? You know.
Yeah, you can hit their Mystique. You hit their Iron Man. Hit, you know. It could be a pretty good card, you know, depending on the meta. But then again, like is like a 3. They have to play a lot of these cards. They don't play right away, right? So I'm trying to think of like early cards that things would play, like Cerebro, I guess, right?
Oh no.
No, I agree. I agree with Kid. I think it's a meta specific card, right? I think, you know, overall, like. You know, people say this is a good card, this is a good card. This is probably not a good card, right? Like this is a situation where, you know, certain metas will call for this card. I'll compare them to like Rogue or something, right? Or
Echo.
Yeah, Echo is another one. Yeah, where it's just
like it's a cool card to have. You probably don't need. You're probably not going to need, but it's a nice tech card to have. Like when everyone had all the Miss Marvel, you know, and everyone was starting to throw Echo in their deck, it would have been nice to have Echo. But no, go on. Sorry.
No, exactly. Yeah, it's just you know, everyone's playing Iron Man, Mystique type of stuff. Then you know, dust off the Red Guardians, and you know, it's a snap condition too, right? Like they're not going to expect their Iron Man to get leached like on board. Like that's a crazy thing. So, you know, so Yeah, but I think it's a pretty niche effect. It's a low stat line, like 3/4 is pretty brutal. So you are giving up something to play this thing, and in most games, it's probably like just if you're queuing randomly on ladder, your red guardian's probably not going to do anything, right?
Yeah.
So in over 50% of your games, so it has to be like a specific kind of meta, and in that meta, you're probably just crushing, and you're probably either terrified or you're playing them, you know.
Is it let's say there's 2 cards that have the lowest power. Do you think it hits both or just randomly one?
Probably random. I think it's probably random.
Lowest power enemy. Yeah, I would imagine it'd probably
It doesn't
be
say cards. It doesn't say cards.
Yeah, I know, that's why I'm asking. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would hope it'd be both. That'd be
No.
kind of cool.
Now this is for obviously not next month, February, March. We have the Avengers versus X-Men in March, so this is April.
Yeah.
I'm guessing this has to be a Thunderbolts thing. They didn't name it yet, but this has to be a Thunderbolts series because all these people were in Thunderbolts, and I think initially before the whole writers and actors strike happened last year, I think Thunderbolts movie was supposed to be out this year. So that's probably why they ended up doing this, because all these characters are going to be in Thunderbolts, if I'm not mistaken. Cool. So, nice. All right, up next, Baron. Dude, I love this character, man. I am a Baron Zemo fan, dude. I wasn't so hot with what they did with him in the MCU and how they used him in the Avengers versus when the Avengers had that Civil War. And didn't kind of dig how they had him there, but yeah, I mean he's always been a cool character in the comics. So Baron Zemo is. I'm trying to see the text here, and my thing is in my way. Opponent's lowest card. Nope, I'm missing.
I'll read it for you, Joe.
I got it. Okay. Add the lowest card from your opponent's deck here on your side. Lowest card from your opponent's deck here on your side.
Yeah, feels pretty good. I think it's a pretty good card. I mean, we're comparing it to Iron Lad. I was rewatching right there, and a lot of people are comparing it to Iron Lad. But the one thing this guy does that Iron Lad doesn't do is he adds pretty much guaranteed additional power on the board. Mm-hmm. Iron Lad has to hit like a Devil Dino or a Darkhawk or like a Black Panther or something like that to actually put additional power on the board. Like this is not a 4/6. Iron Lad is 90% of the time a 4/6, right? Yep. This guy's like probably a 4/8 on average, with maybe more than that, probably maybe 4/9, 4/10 on average. Yeah. With some upside that you're gonna get some effects too. Probably useful effects because they're in your opponent's deck, so they're not gonna put shit cards in their deck, right? So I don't know, it feels pretty good. I was saying, like, you use this with Miss Marvel. I think it's really good. I mean, we're talking about Zabu, right? We play Zabu. We play Zemo on one of the other side. That you have Zabu on one side. You play. Say you got Zabu left, Zemo right, Miss Marvel middle. You already got 5 cards on the board. It's like turn 4. Yeah. You only have one more card to finish your Miss Marvel condition. That's one of many things. I mean, I don't know if you're going to be zooing or not, but you could play him in Thanos, so maybe not a Lockjaw Thanos, but it'd be a different kind of build there. But yeah, I don't know. It seems like a pretty cool card, and I think it's gonna be good.
Yeah. It's the season pass card supposedly for April.
Okay.
So he seems like a great card. Yeah, just like everything No Big Deal said. Like people, I know some people were down on this card, but it's like, how? This card's like ridiculous.
Yep.
You're taking the card from their deck, the lowest cost card. So it's not always going to be 1-drops. You might even want to save this guy for later, like especially if Zabu doesn't get touched. He's maybe your 3-drop on, him. You play him in Darkhawk on the last turn, or him whatever, and like you hope that they've drawn most of their deck and played their lowest cards. So maybe you pull out a nice
fatty
onto the board, right? Like Cull Obsidian.
You pull out a Cull, yeah.
Yeah. You could, yeah.
So like you could pull like higher cost cards, depending on what's in their deck, and it's like
absolutely.
You're just gonna get value from this guy, because people aren't just gonna put trash in their deck. You're getting a good card, and like what's like the worst case? You get like a Wasp or something, like that's the worst case.
The worst case is your opponent plays Blob.
Yeah, exactly.
No deck.
Yeah. I mean, like on average, like you're probably getting a 1-drop, right? You're getting like an Iceman, you're getting like a Spider Ham, you're getting like something, a Forge, something good, right? Like it's probably good. It's probably 80% of the time it's probably good. And you're always adding stats.
I was gonna say, to your point, we didn't really talk about this, but Thanos matchup specifically, a lot of Thanos players, they're snapping on Mind Stone or some variation of Lockjaw Mind Stone. Like maybe it's not, it used to be just Mind Stone, but now it's like Lockjaw Mind Stone and maybe one other stone in hand. Okay, now I'll snap. But like if you're playing against a Thanos player and they're snapping and feeling good about themselves, that means they're cycling their deck. They're pulling their 1-drops out with Mind Stone, right? So if you just hold Zemo to the end of the game, you're probably not getting a stone. Like, if you ever play like as the Thanos player, when you're rolling, you pretty much just get all the stones out of your deck, right? Like by the end. So you have a good chance of getting something like really good because it's just a bunch of stones and then like you're just yanking like a Devil Dino or something, right? Or this guy could legit just like yoink a Devil Dino or like a Shang-Chi or something like that out of the Thanos deck. It's kind of nice.
Yeah. I mean, you can't play him in Darkhawk decks because then you're going to be pulling rocks, right?
Yeah.
Subterranea, he's like Subterranea games, another location the horrible location that's going to ruin this card. You're just pulling a rock every time.
Hate that location.
Right? Lechugia, I'm just going to play my cards on Lechugia during Baron Zemo season. But they're pulling rocks, clogging themselves.
That's true, though, what you said about Thanos. A lot of times those Thanos players get those stones out right away. A lot of them will have 4 or 5 of them out on the board. So your chances of getting something big from him the longer you wait is probably a pretty good deal. Yeah, you probably end up doing that. Yeah, all right. Well, I hope they do my guy justice here. He's another one of those guys I remember from a comic book back in the day. He was in a Captain America Captain America and Falcon, and he was like the villain in that. So awesome. All right. Speaking of big boys, oh my God, dude, this dude is sick. Red Hulk, if people don't know, and obviously the audio people are not seeing the pictures, I probably should read off the cards for my poor audio listeners. Red Hulk is up on the board. He is General Ross, if people didn't know his origin story, and he's going to be in a movie played by Harrison Ford, of all people. Is going to have his face on Red Hulk at some point in that movie. So when your opponent ends a turn with unspent energy +4 power, dude, this guy is going to be huge. How many times do people not play out all their energy? It happens a lot. We're talking about Thanos. They don't play all their energy a lot of times. High Evo. This guy he'll kill a high Evo deck. Like it probably isn't saying a lot to say. This guy can probably easily be a 618 or 622. And it's probably not out of the realm of possibility. So another huge card for, I don't know. We may not need any more huge cards. But what do you think of Red Hulk?
He's ridiculous. This is a ridiculous card. I don't think there's any way he gets printed the way
I was gonna say. It does seem
it's
overpowered.
Easy. I mean, it is if in hand or in play, right? So I guess you have to draw, and then after you draw it, they have to, like High Evil Hulk, right? Yeah. They have to do the unspent energy, but like even if that happens one time, he's a Giganto that you can put anywhere.
Yeah, he is.
He's already better than Giganto.
Yeah.
If that happens just once. Now, if it happens twice, it's 618, which is absolutely insanity.
Yep.
For doing nothing. And then this card, it's not even like you can give it. This card can go in any single deck.
Yeah,
you can put him in any deck.
Yep.
Except for move, maybe. But maybe you just throw him in move because he's better than Heimdall.
He's Heimdall.
Just put him in any of these decks, and it's just insanity. This card. It's like, well, I don't see a deck where this I can't maybe discard you don't put him in, but maybe he just gets bigger than Apocalypse.
Yeah.
It's a good card. I think it's ridiculous. I don't see how the +4 power stays. If it does,
that's probably right. That's what I was thinking too. It'll probably be a +1 or a +2 power. I would bet you they'll probably lower that aspect of it. I could see that happening. Yeah,
or even 3 maybe. I don't know, because at least with the regular Hulk it's +2, but. The High Evil Hulk, but you have agency, right? So you can skip the turns and
Yes.
This one you don't know. I think that's the problem too, is that you don't know. You never know if your opponent's going to have this. It's kind of like, I don't know, kind of sucks.
I think it's fun. I think it's kind of fun.
Scary, man.
Yeah, that's why it's fun though. Yeah, I don't know. I don't, especially with the data mine stuff. I mean, we know they test like 2 weeks before the card comes out, and the numbers can change. So I like to more focus on like the actual ability, what the card actually does, and I think it is going to release like this. I don't think it's going to go below +3 power. If that number changes at all, they could also just change the base power, right? They could put it to a 6/6, and then it's you need one more skip to even get to the 10. But you got some downside now if it's a 6/6, right? What if your opponent plays on curve, or you don't draw your Red Hulk till the end, right? You're bricking pretty hard now, right? So I think the numbers, maybe the numbers on the card are a little bit high right now, like the 10 and the 4 specifically, right? And I think those numbers can easily go down, closer to release. And I think it's a really interesting card. I think when he does come out, I don't think maybe that's just a hot take because I'm like on an island with this take now. I've listened to a bunch of people talk about this now, and I don't think he's going to be broken when he comes out. I think it's just going to be like a pretty cool, interesting tech card. Because like for all the reasons Kid said, like you don't have any agency over it. It's only one lane at the end of the day. You're spending 6 energy on one lane. It's not like Doctor Doom where you get to play all 3 lanes, or Magneto even who affects multiple lanes. So I think it's a really cool card, but people might not be skipping as much as you think.
I agree. I think it'll be fun, but you're probably right. This is probably one. And for people who are listening and stuff on audio and not seeing the cards, these are data mines, so you do have to remember. If you're new, you've never seen data mine cards before, they a lot of times are changed prior to coming out, so it's probably not going to be the final result. But he's got muscles upon muscles, man. I mean, look at the muscles in that dude's leg.
Muscle on the muscle.
Holy God, man!
Like a separate kneecap.
I was gonna say you can't even tell where his knee is, dude. It's just like masses of muscle. That
I love it. It is a cool card design. And maybe like you said, no big deal. I don't know. Now I'm thinking about it. Blob is like a 615 to 620, right?
Yeah, at least 15, yeah.
So if this guy's a 618, I don't know.
Yeah, Blob's not in every deck, right? And you get to control the Blob. You could play with Samurai and stuff like this, or you could ramp it out and play Taskmaster. You can't do any of that stuff with Hulk. Like, it has to be in your hand, and then they have to float energy. So it's got some conditions. The fact that it's 10 base power, that's really, I think the base power is coming down. I think you have to punish people for it not kind of hitting its ceiling, right? I think that's the key, because even 10 base power is like still like kind of serviceable, right? So if nothing happens, you just draw it. You still have a 6/10. That sounds like a little bit busted, but I think if they lower the base power, it could be a really interesting card.
Yeah, I think it's cool. I like it.
Mm-hmm. All right, next up. There we go. I was talking about him before when I got mixed up on a U.S. agent. He's a 2/6 ongoing, -1 power for each of your other cards here. So he gets -1 for each of your other cards here, and he's a 2/6. I don't know. What do you think? I mean, his kind of alter person or hero to him, of course, is Captain America. He's kind of the evil Captain America almost. But I mean, I don't know. What do you think? Hopefully he sees more play than Captain America, but what do you think of him? What do you think of a U.S. agent?
Go ahead, no big deal.
Well, I think he's definitely going to see more play than Captain America. I hate to be the hot take guy, but I kind of like this card. I think he's kind of good. Obviously, like, Shuri, Sauron, Zero, Luke Cage. These are all like very obvious synergies, right? Maybe not a lot of people doing the Luke Cage thing, but I like I was saying, before we were talking about it, is like if you put one card in the lane in him, it's just a 2/5, right? Like you think about like Lizard, who sees play, like he could go to a -1. Medusa, you have to play her in the middle. Like Silk, you don't know what lane she's going to end up in. But just U.S. agent and one card is a 2/5. Like, I don't know, that's pretty sick to me. Now you start playing more cards. He's not going to go in every deck. If you're a deck that likes to play a lot of cards, you're not playing U.S. agent. It's not going to happen. But I think in a lot of these decks that are playing Maximus, I think this is actually just better than Maximus in a lot of the Maximus decks, because giving your opponent 2 draws is devastating in a lot of games. It's one of those things. It's like, way worse than like, like Iceman, you don't see the effect. But like drawing 2 cards, like you really don't see the effect. But you're about to get like bodied because you just gave him 2 draws. So a little -1 is a much less severe penalty for a really nice stat line. Now, if he ever goes to a 2/5, I think it's a shit card. So that is actually like the line for me.
I think he's okay, but I don't know. I don't like him. He doesn't seem like fun to me. It's not a card that like when I'm like, oh, this looks like a cool card to play. It's like a card that have to do things to make better. I'm not interested in that. I mean, yeah, obviously, yeah, Sauron synergy is good. Zero synergy is good. Luke Cage is a good one because Luke Cage is global now, so you just play him anywhere, right? And then Luke Cage comes down, but then I'm gonna have to start putting Luke Cage in my decks. I don't want to be doing that. So he might be okay. He might not be okay, but it's not a card that really interests me or gets me excited. If I'm being honest, it's like, okay, cool.
He's boring for sure. I'll give you that. He's definitely boring.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, it seems like an okay. He's good for the cost, obviously. Like a 2/6 is a good stat line, or a 2/5, and he's probably a better lizard. Like No Big Deal was saying, because lizard can. Most people end up filling that lizard lane, and lizard goes down anyway most of the time. So, but yeah, interesting either way. All right, we got. Oh boy, this is another one here. This is just. White Widow. So add a -1 power Widow's Kiss to your opponent's side of here. So this is a Black Widow where you don't choose to play it. It goes in the opposite lane, and the Widow's Kiss, I can't bring up here, but I think is it a -1 or a -2? I can't remember.
It's a 1 -1.
1 -1. Okay, so they get a 1 -1 on their side of the board from this. Very interesting. This can probably be abused, I would think, too. You play this in bounce, and you're junking up the other person's lanes. So I don't know. This could be a little nasty, I would think, if it releases the way that it is, sticking those -1 powers over in the other players' lanes. But I don't know. What do you guys think?
Joe, you should read the effect for the audio listeners of the Widow's Bite. There's even more absurdity.
I have to look it up. Give me a second. I'll find it.
I have it pulled up.
Oh, do you have it? Okay.
We'll tell you. Yeah, go ahead.
The Widow's Kiss is a 1 -1 ongoing. Your other cards here have -1 power.
Oh, for God's sake!
So if this card gets released, if this card gets released the way it is, which it's not, I will take the day off work and I will abuse this card all day, every day with junk and just being an idiot and just playing this card constantly because it's going to get changed. This card is broken the way it is. It's so good. And even when they end up nerfing it, I'm just gonna say when, because there's no way they get released like this.
Yeah, it's not
when they nerf it. It's still a cool card. It's a really cool effect. I really like it.
Yeah.
Even if it's a 2/0, whatever they end up doing, you're clogging up the other person's lane. It's a 2 cost, which is cool. I hope they keep it at 2 cost.
Yeah, me too.
Cheaper junk cards are fun.
Yeah.
They already screwed with junk enough. I won't go rant on that, but
yes, they did.
Every goddamn card they nerfed. With junk, but this card just seems like a lot of fun. Like, it's really annoying for your opponent, right? You play it, you're clogging their lane, and the rest of their shit gets -1. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. This is gonna be a sick card. Go ahead,
And like you said, you can bounce it too. You can bounce it. You can play Grandmaster, and you're just clogging them everywhere.
Yeah, you can. Yeah. This could get really nasty.
Yeah, and to your point, okay, if it comes out like this is the best card in Marvel Snap. Like, it is what it is. like if it comes out tomorrow, obviously this is not a world where Hope Summers and all these other crazy cards that might come out exist. But this comes out instead of Cull Obsidian tomorrow. Like, this is the best card in Marvel Snap. because exactly like you said, Joe, you're gonna bounce it, and they're gonna play. You're gonna have Soulstone in every lane. You're gonna bounce plays. And to your point, like, I hope they keep it at 2, but you could definitely get rid of the Soulstone effect. The Widow's Bite does not need to Soulstone your opponent. Like, it's extremely unnecessary. You could just erase the text off of that card. You're just giving them a -1. Like, that's great.
Yeah.
Let's just clog their lanes. Let's junk it up. Like, we don't need to also, in addition, here's a Soulstone. That's like way better than a Soulstone because it's on your opponent's side. You don't have a shitty 1/1 on your side, So I mean, absolutely absurd effect. But I hope they, maybe make it a 2/1, gives a -1, and let's see how that goes. Something like that would be.
Yeah, I mean, like to your point, like how bad is a -1? Well, look what they just did with Celine, a card that's supposed to benefit you. That was a -1. That's so bad to have on your side. They gave it 3 power. They gave it 3 power. The card that's supposed to benefit you.
Yeah.
So having a -1 on your side sucks.
Yeah, it not only takes up the space over there, but it just you're right. You wouldn't think it would be a big difference, but it actually really is. Yeah, I like this. But you're right. There's no way it probably comes out like this. They're definitely going to do something to this along the way. All right, up next we have. Oh, there it was. I had it up there anyway. The Widow's Kiss was the next one. So there you go. You could the people who are watching on YouTube can see what it looks like. Valentina is up next. On reveal, add a random 6-cost card to your hand, give it -2 cost and -2 power. So for a 2/2, you're going to be drawing a 6-cost card into your hand, which is random. So that's the key. Random can be bad. You can get garbage that you absolutely can't use. But I mean, on the other hand, there are a lot of big cards that are 6s too. So this is interesting. I mean, you can get a Galactus for a which would be a 4-cost, yeah,
or 3,
and a 4. No, it would be a 4/1. Oh God.
So you play turn 1 Quinjet, and then you play your Valentina. Turn 3 Galactus, baby.
Let's go. I'm all for that.
Valentina is gonna be sick, man. This card's awesome.
You think good or sick fun?
No, like good and fun, both.
You think good?
Yeah, definitely.
I don't. I don't know. I think you said this the other day. You said it was like a Loki card, which I think is
Loki. Yeah,
I think absolutely.
And Loki, if you get it, if you roll,
it's a better Mirage when you have with Quinjet and stuff like that. You know. Anywhere else, it's just casino roll. I think. I mean,
it is.
It seems like a really fun card. Like I definitely want to get it. I definitely want to play with this card because it's going to be hilarious and it's going to be fun. Is it going to be good? I don't know. I haven't done the math of like what's going to be a good 5-drop or a good 6-drop that you get versus how many are going to be good. Like because then you're going to get a Spectrum, you get an Onslaught, you get like I don't know leader. I guess a leader, a 4/0 leader. I don't know. Is that good? No. Yeah. Probably not. 4/0 Goliath. I don't know. 6 -2 null. Arnim Zola, that's 4 -2. I don't know. Are these things good? Who knows? Probably not.
A Thanos.
So I don't know. Yeah, Thanos will be a 4/8. It's not bad though. That's pretty good. She-Hulk a 4/8. That's pretty good. Helicarrier is a 4/8. Tribunal will be a 4/7.
Yep.
So you can get some decent rolls. Agatha, you start getting Agatha.
Oh, let's go.
We got a buff Agatha.
Let's go.
If you get Agatha, it's going to be amazing. She's going to play herself on 4.
Yeah.
As a 4/12, it's going to be pretty sick, actually. Yeah. Agatha would be great to have. But I mean, it's just there's a lot of cards that are good. There's a lot of cards that are bad, and I don't know. Maybe it'll be good. Maybe it won't. Which is why Loki is probably the best deck for, because then you just get rid of it if it's crap.
Yeah, yeah. I would be surprised if I don't know. I guess it could release as a 2/2. You'd think that maybe they might change the numbers on that a little bit, but I guess that would work as a 2 card. Like you were saying, Mirage is similar in a way. So okay. Yeah. All right. Next one up. Oh, that is it. I guess we covered them. Yeah. I guess we got them all. All right. Well, here's the carnival event, by the way. I don't know if you guys know about that, but there's a carnival event going on right now that you can get some free stuff, but obviously you need to buy stuff too, because you got to play with the Sunspot from the carnival in order to get some of the missions complete. But it's a cool way to get free stuff. There's login event going on right now too. That they have. So the
login's free, right? You go log in and get free stuff. So
Yep. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, these guys have inspired me from their show, and I've said that at the beginning of the show for more than one reason. They play a really cool game on their show, and I thought, you know what? One of the things that radio stations used to do in the past a lot of times is have giveaways and game shows and all that kind of stuff. So I'm like, you know what? This may fit really well And one of the things I thought that doesn't get a whole lot of love in our game are pixel cards. Everybody seems to hate pixel cards, and with good reason. When you would get them and you're hoping that something good comes up, it's like womp womp. It's a pixel. I didn't want this garbage. But look, I've got the Jubilee pixel up on the screen right now, and I think that is unbelievably the hottest pixel that there is around. This is an amazing pixel card. When that popped up, I didn't even realize it was a pixel at first. And it's fantastic. So I think maybe they're getting a little better making these. Some of them are 100% horrible. But that said, I thought up a game, and the Snap Brothers are going to be the first ones, the inaugural players of my new game on the show that I will have every week called Guess the Pixel. I needed a drum roll there, but there wasn't one. It's fine. There we go.
I love it.
We're gonna play Guess the Pixel, and yeah, I'm gonna give them. So to describe it for the audio listeners, I've got a piece of a pixel card up on the screen. They are going to attempt to guess which pixel card this little piece is from, and we are going to start right now. Now, I'll describe the piece for the listeners, and then you guys can go. Some of them pretty simple, some of them not so much, and some of them you're probably going to know just because of the fact that they're cards that I might like. So there you go. I'll give you a little bit of a hint. So here's the first one.
I think I know this one.
Me too. Let's let Joe describe it first.
All right, so we have
This is good.
up in the far right-hand corner, we have a blue-gray, what looks like a pixelated sky, I guess, maybe with a little cloud there. And then you have a big mass of gray in the middle with pixelated lines going down. You got some grays, you got some black, and you got some darker grays in the back. So that's pretty much the best description I could do on that one. But
It was recently buffed in an OTA or the patch.
Oh,
yeah, Helicarrier.
Yes,
I think it's Helicarrier.
Yes, it is Helicarrier. You are 100% correct.
That's great.
It's a good pixel. This is actually one of the better ones.
It is. Yeah. I actually don't mind the pic. In fact, it's funny because I think I did it because I just got it. So, but oops, wrong slide. Well, now you're gonna guess that one for sure. There it is.
Oh yeah,
there it is.
Oh, that's a beauty. Yeah.
There's the pixel helicarrier right there, baby. So yeah, it's actually not bad. It's actually, you can see the window on the bottom and the four little propellers on the sides and stuff like that. So it's not bad. It's not bad. There's some that are way, way worse. All right.
It looks like it's out of Mega Man. Like it's like out of Airman level or something, Like this is
this is
a nice one.
It does.
All right, here is the second one. Now this is gonna get a little tougher. I'll give you a hint though on this one. This one just came out, so this is pretty new to Snap. So it was just released not that long ago. I happened to get it, and yes, so I will describe it. We have looks like some blonde up at the top. You got some black spots where maybe the eyes are and the mouth, and some brown or goldish brown below what looks to be like a cheek or the chin side of whatever this person's face is. So you got to guess, guys?
No big deal. Do you know?
I don't know. You want to guess?
I think I know what it is.
I have a couple ideas, but you go first.
I think it is a reward in one of the Destroy album, the Pixel Destroy album. I think it's Sabretooth. That's my guess.
You got it, man.
Wow.
Yeah, 2 for 2.
I was gonna guess Captain Marvel.
2 for 2.
I was looking at that variant the other day. I was like, because I was looking at my progress in Destroy. I'm like, oh, the Sabretooth's kind of cool. Isn't he like in a pond or something too? Yeah. There it is. It looks cool. Yeah.
Oh, that's sick. Look at that.
He is an album reward from the Destroy albums. I ended up, I think when that album first came out, I ended up having 9 of the cards, so I got him like right off the bat. But yeah, and then I posted him up on X, and someone said, "Oh, he's crying." It does kind of look like he's crying because he's wet. I don't know, but it's actually not bad. I mean, you can see the stripes and stuff on his outfit and everything like that, and the claws. So yeah, I don't think it's too bad. The face is a little messed up, but yeah, I kind of dig that one. So
this is pretty sick. This looks like you're playing like Final Fantasy 3 and like you're in the swamps.
Yes.
You head into the swamp and like there's like 2 of these guys that look identical and you're fighting them with your party. Like it's kind of nice.
I love that. Yeah, that's what it reminds me of, honestly, man. When you see like a lot of these, you go back to old style RPGs and stuff like that. So that's kind of why I don't mind them, man. I don't think they're as bad as what everybody thinks they are. It's a little disheartening to get them when you're thinking you're getting a better variant, but yeah, I totally get that. All right, next one we've got that.
Oh boy.
Now that is this is just big green blobs. We got some lighter greens underneath. We got looks like I don't know, maybe an arm there, maybe on the right hand side, and you got some pixelated yellows and whites on the left, and then some more green. What looks like what could be, I don't know, maybe a body on the left hand side as well. So whatever it is, it's green.
I have only one guess that I think could be that color green, but I have no clue. I'm completely stumped on this one.
My first guess was scorpion, but I'm thinking lizard actually, because it kind of looks like his mouth, like his his mouth kind of pointed down, like angled.
Okay.
So I don't actually know what the pixel art looks like, but it just kind of looks like lizard to me. I play a lot of lizards, so I don't know.
I would not guess lizard. I would guess Baron Mordo. It seems like his kind of green, and maybe I don't know if there's a pixel electro either, because I don't know if that's like a lightning bolt or something.
I don't know if I've seen a pixel electro.
So that means it's not pixel electro. Thank you, Joe.
There you go.
I'm just joking. My guess would be Baron Mordo. I don't even know if there's a Baron Mordo pixel.
No, I use the Baron Mordo pixel. It's absolutely gorgeous, by the way. It's like one of the best ones in the game. It's phenomenal looking.
It's not this.
I don't know. God, it's so zoomed in. It's hard to tell.
I know it's good. It's good. Yeah. It's good.
I don't think it is, but we could go with that. Let's go. I know he has a pixel, and it's awesome. So let's go Baron Mordo.
Baron Mordo. It is.
Oh, nice.
It is the Pixel Hulk.
I never would have got that. That's okay.
Really blew up his hand on that one side there. So that was a tough one because you had to really see the bottom of the. Yeah, you really. That's actually the only Hulk variant I had for the longest time. He was one of probably the first pixels I think I ever got too.
Oh, yeah, I don't have the Hulk variant.
Yeah. So but it is Pixel Hulk. All right, I got some more here. Now let's see.
That was a good one. Joe, this is fun. This is good.
I never would have got that. That got me stumped.
All right, I think you're gonna get this one pretty easily. But here we go. Here's the next one.
Oh yeah. I appreciate it.
Of course, I had to include this. This is going to be tough for me to describe this actually without getting a little dirty. We've got.
We're going to the farm.
Well, we've got a brown mass in the middle, brown legs it looks like, and then brown on the middle, and then we got brown on the left, and then we got a little red on the right side, and then there's this big glob of pink right in the middle of the card. So. Man, I don't know if I'm looking at this from the first time. For the first time, I might kind of think it might have been in Leisure Suit Larry back in the day, the old video game that was made that got banned. But what do you guys think? What is it?
This makes me want to have a steak, or some cookies and milk.
Sacred animal in India. It's the hell cow, baby.
Yes, I think I was gonna say. I think you got it. There it is. Some say hell cow is the worst pixel variant that was ever made. So I mean, they definitely. I don't know. I don't think it would be that bad if they didn't, accentuate the udders as much as they did. They really do. Oh man, but some say that is the worst one in the game. All right. I'm going to go to this one. I think this will be an easy one for you, too. So let's go. We go here.
Oh, yeah.
All right. We've got I think this is a pretty buff-looking thing here. We've got some muscles, white on either side. We got what looks like a Pixel 6-pack there in the middle, and then we got some dark blues on the right side and the left side, and also down at the bottom on the right side and the left side, and a little bit of white up where the abs and the muscles would be up toward the top of the whatever this creature happens to be. So what do you got, guys? What do you think it is?
No big deal. You got this one.
Well, I think it's the big one, but it definitely could be one of two. That both have gorgeous pixel arts that I own and use both of as my cards. The Atlantean boys or creatures and I think this is the Orca personally.
So do I. My guess is Orca.
All right, man. There it is. It is Orca.
Namor's is sick too. Namor's got a great pixel too.
I actually love this one.
He's
the one I use in my decks. I love the Pixel Orca. I think that's fantastic. All right, let's see what we got going on here.
One of the best pixels in the game.
You know, I don't like pixels like by themselves, but like if I get a full deck of pixels, I would love that. Like,
oh my god, yeah.
Like I don't want pixels, but I want them all. If that makes any sense. Like full pixel decks would be sweet, but like having all these cool variants and like having one pixel, I don't like that too much. But like I've tried to build full pixel decks before, and I'm like, man, this looks so cool. I love that.
I was trying to do that way back with something. I can't remember what deck it was that it was probably I don't know how to be a Galactus deck for everything that I've had in that deck. But yeah, I was trying to do the same thing. I think that would be cool if you could do that. All right, here we go. Next one. Boom.
Did he get punched in the cheek? Or
I'm thinking maybe he did, and you guys already know this one.
I know. No big deal. Do you know it?
No, I don't know this one.
All right, let no big deal. Let no big deal go through.
So we've got some purple on the top, a little bit of blue underneath, what looks to be maybe an eye, and then we got what looks like some flesh color underneath the eye, and then to the right, some more purple on what looks to maybe be the shoulder area. So there you go. No big deal. It's what do you think?
I love this variant too. This is I love this pixel one.
I don't know. I mean, just one that I have that has similar colors would be Sentinel. That'd probably be my guess, but I just feel like I'm wrong, so I don't know.
Okay.
Joe's favorite card.
It is my favorite card.
Oh, it's Galactus?
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. I've never seen the Pixel Galactus.
Oh, it's not that old. Oh. I missed the slide. Where is he? Oh, where'd my boy go?
It's actually great.
He's probably not. Oh, tell me I didn't even put him in here.
Yeah, there's so many Galactus variants. He's got a lot of good ones.
Oh, nobody's gonna see this anyway, so we're going down. There he is. Nope. Come on. Seriously? Well, it's Galactus.
That's all right.
I had him somewhere. No, wait. I probably lost the slide, or it's somewhere down where it shouldn't be. Gotta love it.
Oh, good.
Oh, man, where is he? Anyway, his name's probably not in here. Oh wait, there we go.
Yes.
Oh,
there he is.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
There he is.
Cool.
He would look amazing if he didn't look like he got punched in the mouth. Like if you look up at his cheek, like on that top right hand side, and that's why I accentuated that part of his face. It looks like he's either chewing a wad of bubble gum or like somebody like socked him right in the right side of his face, and it's just like swollen on the right side.
Yeah.
Of course, I had to split him. I actually have him inked, which he actually doesn't look that bad when he's inked. So yeah, it's so there you go. It's Galactus. All right,
I love it.
Next one here, we're gonna go with this. We got some blue, we got a little stripe of purple, we got a stripe of green, and then we got another stripe of purple, and then more green and more blue.
Oh, you got any ideas, kid? Or?
No.
I'm trying to think of what card even has these colors. I definitely don't own this pixel for sure.
I will give you a hint. It is another favorite card of mine.
Oh, Joe, what do you like to play?
Oh man, this is what has purple and blue like that? It's not like Mr. Sinister. It's not
there's a lot of green in there too.
Green, I feel like is gonna be like the background, like the grass and stuff.
When you guys are stumped, tell me, and I'll give you another clue. But if I do, it's going to give it away.
Oh man, I don't know.
Yeah, I might need another clue. I'm struggling with this one. Sorry, Chuck.
I tend to spend a lot of my weekends with this card.
Oh, really? I'd never seen this pixel card. Agatha.
Oh,
cool. I forgot about that.
Yep.
I would have never got that. Never got that.
It is Agatha Harkness. I think she was that might have been the first variant I have of her as well. So yeah, So it is Agatha.
That's
All
great.
right, let's see.
She's got a lot of blue in her pixel. The blue threw me off. I feel like Agatha's mostly purpley,
Yeah.
purple, black.
No, yeah, they made her blue, which was
Yeah,
weird.
she's so
She
blue,
looks.
it threw me off.
It's funny because this pixel is more like the MCU Agatha. So she looks more like the one in the MCU. The MCU had the blue robes and then the purple scarf and the long black hair. So yeah, so I think they took that picture more from the MCU than they did from anything else. All right, let's see. I think I might have one more. This one I think is pretty simple.
Yeah.
This one I think is pretty easy. We've got a little tiny square in the pixelated corner there. It looks like a little plus sign. We got some gold, we got some blue, we got some purple, and looks like maybe the side of a helmet, maybe a shoulder pad underneath. I think this one's a pretty easy one to close it out. But what do you guys think?
No big deal. Do you know it?
The Big Papa or what?
Yeah, the Mad Titan himself.
It is
Thanos. Yeah.
Thanos.
Snap. Boom. That's great.
It is Thanos. The Thanos pixel, and
That's a cool pixel, actually.
Yeah, he's not bad. I like the Infinity Gauntlet with the little ring around it and stuff like that, man. I like it. That's awesome. Thank you guys for playing the first episode of my game, Guess the Pixel. I absolutely love it. Now, if I were back in my radio station days, I'd be giving you guys prizes and some kind of goofy thing or movie tickets or something along those lines. But there you go.
Joe, just being
awesome.
here's the prize, okay? Just
there
being
you
here's
go.
the prize
Just
with
being,
you, Joe.
oh man. See, this is why I love these guys, man. This is why I love them. All right. Well, listen, it's been great, guys. I really enjoyed having you guys on. Please tell my listeners where they can find you guys and where they can see your awesome videos.
All right. Yeah. So our YouTube is at the Super Snap Bros, the Super Snap Bros. We do a podcast every week called How Can She Snap? Basically, you can just find that on every podcasting platform, Apple, Spotify, Podchaser, literally like all of them. And we also do, videos on Spotify and then upload the video of our podcast on YouTube as well. I'm on Twitter at @thekid_snap. And No Big Deal is at @NoBigDeal_snap.
That's right.
Awesome. Yeah. We are all going to be taking part in this too, and I'll just throw this out there for people who don't know it. The Snap Judgments League. So it's got the poster up there. Play Against the Best starts March the 2nd. All you have to do, it's $1. That's it. If you want to get in on this, it's $1 to play, and you're going to get paired up against what could be any one of us that are here tonight, or it could be Lambie, or it could be one of the best players in the world that some of them are playing in this thing. So it's going to be really, really fun. It's hosted, of course, by Gunny T, who was on my show and was on the kids' show as well. Awesome person. We got Glazer, of course, is hosting it too. Glazer's been on my show a couple times, and Doug Pie is hosting as well. So this is going to be a lot of fun. And I know a lot of people, think to themselves, I'm never going to be in a tournament. It's only, they only have the really big names or big creators and stuff out there that do it. That's not the case. You can get in on this. You join their Patreon for $1 and you're able to match up against other players. So this is going to be a whole heck of a lot of fun. You can listen, maybe you can come out and play me and I'll have Agatha in my deck. You never know. If it's a weekend, I may have to play with Agatha. So we'll see.
The great thing about this too, I'll add on to it, is that it's very, very low commitment. Yes. So if you think you're going to be there for hours and hours a day doing a tournament, no. Mm-hmm. It's you play one match per week, and you go on Discord and you hook up with someone else that that you're playing with that week, and you kind of decide when you guys are going to play your one conquest match of the week. Mm-hmm. So it's very low commitment. You do one a week, and then they do Swiss style. Then there'll be like a big bracket at the end. They're really, really organized. Kenny T is one of the most organized people I've ever seen in my life.
Yep.
They're doing a fantastic job so far, and just for $1, it seems to be like insane. So
yeah,
it's gonna be a ton of fun. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Make sure you follow all those guys too. Gunny just started his YouTube channel. Fantastic at what he does. Really doing some different stuff than a lot of the other creators out there that you see. He's doing more like tutorial stuff, getting helping people play better, which I think is awesome. Check out, of course, Glazer and Snap Judgments. That man works so hard on all this stuff that
Yeah.
I don't know where he gets time in the day. He's a teacher, and plus he's doing these videos every single day, and giving you guys all these decks you could try and play, and so he does an amazing job as well. Doug Pie is awesome. Look, the community is great. This is why one of the reasons why I do this stuff. All the people that have been on my show that have gotten to talk to are awesome people. You guys are as well. Make sure you go over and check out their channel. They always have a great time over there. They had Nerf Herder on this week, so go check out that video. Do you guys have anybody coming up on your show?
Kier Nimbus is coming this week, actually.
Very nice.
Yeah,
Kier
and then
on my show.
Yeah, I like that one, actually. That was a really good show. I like that. That was fun. Yeah, he seems like a really, really nice guy, so we're pretty pumped about that. And then Gunny T is actually coming. He wants to come back on, so he's coming back on probably the week after. And he's going to really talk about the league a lot too, which we'll get into the nitty-gritty of the league, which will be really, really cool. So I'm pumped about that. It'll be a good episode.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, make sure and go check them out. I have Zal Snap is going to be on my show.
Oh, he's great.
Yeah, and I'm trying to get a hold of Interrobang as well. I'm trying to get in. Yeah, he has a busy schedule, but I thought maybe me and him would discuss some Galactus. We could probably talk about Galactus for a couple hours. So
Galactus special. That sounds fun.
Galactus special. Oh man, awesome. I love it. That's going to do it for me for tonight, guys. Tune in to my next show, which will be tomorrow. Obviously, just a regular, normal, every week audio podcast will be out tomorrow, probably afternoon sometime or so, where I'll talk about Cull Obsidian a little bit more and the new cards. And I have my rant of the week now. And that's kind of thanks to these guys, too. So two parts of their show, my show, they actually inspired. But, yeah, everybody's like, we kind of like the way you do these rants. I'm like, all right, I'm going to do a rant of the week now.
Great.
Last week's was on hot locations. Tomorrow is on emote spammers. That's going to be a good.
No
one.
Big deal.
That's going to be. That's going to be a good one, baby. So yeah. So check that out. Thank you all to those of you who watch the videos, who listen to the audio as well. I appreciate everyone. Please make sure you like the video that you're watching now. Make sure you sub to the channel if you would, and obviously sub to their channel as well. And yeah, man, listen, if you're a casual player, like we were talking about earlier in the show, don't get down, enjoy the game, have fun playing it, and whatever your goals are, set them where you can make them, and hopefully you'll get to where you need to go. All right, guys, that is it for me for tonight. Your Snap DJ is going to sign off, and I will talk to you all again soon. Have a great one. Take care and stay safe, everybody. Good night.
Peace. Thanks, Joe.